What is going on, everybody? Dr. Bob is here. I'm live right now. I am accompanied by Papa Dom. I think we're going back into our old routine of where the fuck is Chris? Nobody can seem to find him. Is he face down in a ditch somewhere? Because, he just couldn't make it today.
Couldn't happen. Couldn't happen.
I mean,
But life finds a way, and we're here now.
we haven't heard from him in a couple of days. We haven't seen him since the last episode of the podcast. He might not exist anymore. Who knows? But we're here. We just got some crazy news. Literally last night at like fucking 11 p.m. Which was leaked data, leaked information about the Xbox Series S, the previously rumored all digital edition to the Xbox Series X. It was later confirmed by Microsoft that this information is in fact correct, and we wanted to talk about it real quick. So to start it off, we have very limited information currently still about the Xbox Series X. However, with the majority of the Xbox Series S rumors being confirmed, we can also then extrapolate a little bit further. That's a math word. I'm a physicist. That's a math word. We can extrapolate a little bit further to also confirm that the rumored stats for the Xbox Series X are in fact true. So to start with the Xbox Series X or Series S, I'm going to fuck this up so many times. Was leaked last night. $300 for an all-digital discless console. It looks to be roughly a third of the size of the Series X. Also roughly a third powerful, as per the 4 teraflops compared to the 12 teraflops of the Xbox Series X. However, it's still supposed to be coming with modern technology hardware in the form of modern SSDs and a modern CPU. It's being optimized for 1080p up to 2K gaming, also up to 100 frames per second, but it's not guaranteed. We don't know what the next generation of consoles, frames-wise, is going to look like. Everybody keeps saying 120 frames. I don't fucking believe them because some PCs have a hard time running games at 120 frames per second. But yeah, so as of right now, this is basically all this information is basically all confirmed. I think we just what do you think about this?
So, I mean, for me, this is kind of exciting. I mean, I think that, we were overdue for some exciting console news. I mean, we were literally just talking about it on the show like last week or the week before that, this console holiday season is just like shaping up to be a fucking colossal wet fart. So the fact that we have an insanely competitively priced console, this is the same price as a Nintendo Switch. And, it still has that custom SSD. Granted, it's only 512 gigs, which, I hope that there's more options. I really do hope that at launch they say, all right, you can get the S, but like if you want a terabyte SSD, it's an extra, $100 or $50 or whatever. They still are promising 4K upscaling for games. That you have all the buzzwords: ray tracing, variable refresh rate, variable rate shading, 1440p at up to 120 frames per second. So not like true 4K gaming,
right?
But up to 1440p. I think this is a ballsy play, a ballsy announcement. This is a lot of websites are calling this a Game Pass machine, which is not.
That's literally what I had as my last point. It's a portal for Game Pass, in my opinion.
Yeah. Which is not the worst thing that you could be called. It's still one of the best values in gaming. And I think this is going to result in a ton of money for Microsoft. I think that it's going to outsell the X. And I think that it's going to be this is going to be your Call of Duty and EA Sports machine. This is like for the people who walk into a GameStop and they go, all I play is Fortnite, Warzone, and Madden. This is the console they're going to leave with. For 90% of people who don't care about, how many teraflops or actually don't know that these consoles have a different amount of teraflops or don't know what teraflops are or what they do, this is the console they're going to leave that GameStop with or that Best Buy with or that Target with. I think this is going to sell like hotcakes this holiday. But yeah, our very own Kung Fu Ken disagrees with me in that this won't steal the lion's share of the EA Sports and Call of Duty sales from PS5. That's what I think it's going to do.
I don't think it takes from EA Sports Possibly. From Call of Duty, not a chance. Just because PlayStation already has exclusivity rights to Call of Duty for, like, timed exclusivity rights for Call of Duty.
True. But I still think that this is going to be, I mean, this is what people are going to buy this console for. This is going to be like, you know, for the people that look at the price tag first and the specs second, this is a really great deal. $299 is an insanely good deal. And yeah, I mean, all in all, I like the move. I like that they're doing it, and I think it's going to do really well.
Yeah, I mean, it's also, like you said, being a portal to Game Pass is not a inherently bad thing. The issue that, so there's a couple issues that I see with the Series S, and that is 500 gigabytes on an SSD for a all digital, completely diskless console is not enough. No. And so, for instance, say Call of Duty does end up, the Call of Duty fan base does end up migrating towards the Series S. If you look at Modern Warfare right now, you get continuous updates of 60 gigs plus every single time. You're gonna have Call of Duty, Cold War, and 2 other games potentially. By the end of that game's life cycle, you're going to have to delete it off of the console because it's going to take up 200 gigs itself, potentially 300. So I don't know. It all depends on the architecture of the next generation of consoles, what the architecture for game framework looks like. So if they can create a Skyrim game and it's 5 gigs, okay, sure, you could put 200 fucking games like that on there. But if we continue to see a trend going into the next generation of consoles where games are minimum 20 gigs, maximum, who the fuck knows, because everything's an online service and it could literally go on for the life generation of this console. I don't know. 500 gigabytes is not enough for any console. I feel like going into the next generation, 1 terabyte should always be the minimum.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, I have a 500 gig launch model Xbox One in my living room right now, and I have 4 games on it. I've got Destiny 2, I have Jedi Fallen Order, I have the Master Chief Collection, and I have Doom Eternal. That is 500 gigs right there. I think I'm like 85% of the way full, and I had a couple of other like smaller Game Pass titles on there, but it's not enough. And I think that if they release variable storage options, great. But the fact that this is all digital and only 500 gigs is really troubling. And I think that, granted, like I said, this might be the console that only the people who only play 3 or 4 games on, your people who buy Madden, NHL, and COD every year are going to love this shit, and it's perfect for them. It's completely perfect. And we say it all the time in the show, give the consumer options. More options is always a good thing. But you know, the storage is really the one big glaring problem for me here. Otherwise, I think this is an excellent option, and there's going to be a lot of people that are pretty happy. A lot of parents who are like wiping their foreheads right now that, you know, they might not have to shell out $600 this holiday because their kid is only going to play Fortnite and Warzone on it.
I think it's more appealing to like the non-diehards who don't have a 4 to 8K television, because 4K is barely accepted as of right now. Like, not many people are running 4K setups for their televisions, let alone monitors. 8K is, I don't understand how people are pushing for 8K compatibility when, if you have an 8K TV and a game is promoting you can run it at 8K, it's going to be watching a slideshow. Like, you're never going to be able to get the performance around that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the vast majority of people aren't looking for a 4 to 8K compatible console. To me, this completely undercuts the purpose of the Xbox Series X. They're touting this as being a way to have next gen features for significantly lower price point. But in my opinion, like, if you're trying to push Game Pass and you're trying to do it with the Series S, you're still going to have Game Pass on the Xbox One. So to me, this is like the amalgamation of the Xbox One X, which was I believe right around 4 teraflops as well, and the Xbox One S, which was the all digital version.
Right.
and it's $100 less, which is good, but it doesn't seem to me like it's that next step into the next generation of consoles. To me, it just seems like you could play Xbox Series X games on this, but it's not going to be as good as it should be. Like it's designed for the Series X, but you can still play them, but you also have a ton of accessibility to everything else. Like it doesn't, to me, it's a weird midway point that undercuts both last generation's achievements with the Xbox One X and like the upcoming potential achievements of the Series X.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I think it's good. Like I always say, give consumers options. I think that's a great thing to do. But like I've also said a dozen times in the past about this fucking next generation of consoles, heating is going to be an issue, and that's why there's a giant fucking vent on the top of it.
A colossal turntable sized vent. It kind of looks like the DJ Hero deck thing. That's the one Photoshop that I haven't seen yet, so maybe I need to get on that because the memes are just out of control already.
You should do that before I finish editing this video.
Okay. All right. But yeah, the heating is definitely something that I'm concerned about. I mean, the biggest joke right now that I'm hearing is like that people are heating their homes. Like I'm going to keep my PS4 Pro in my house throughout the holiday because it was really helpful to heat my home last winter, and it's loud and it's hot, and like I really hope that they've figured something out here. But the fact that the Xbox Series X is legitimately just a fucking chimney is no surprise considering how much power is needed.
That is such a good way to define how it was created, because when you look at the design aspect of it, it's literally just panel. If you look at the back two sides, it's also just flat panel, and then the top is just a fucking exhaust pipe for a vehicle.
Yep. It's just literally, yeah. Like somebody needs to Photoshop. What's his name? I think it's Bert actually from Mary Poppins, the chimney sweep, like floating down into the fucking into the top of the Xbox Series X to sweep it out. But yeah, I mean, all things aside though, like the biggest game changer I think for the Xbox family of consoles, I guess for this year is Xbox All Access. I think that's going to be one thing that is really going to be a huge game changer, especially for people who might have already purchased a console through All Access. And if you get All Access with the console, which comes with Game Pass Ultimate, so you get Xbox, you get the hardware itself, Game Pass, and Xbox Live Gold through Game Pass Ultimate. You're actually paying, so you're basically paying $25 a month for console, online, and Game Pass for $25 a month, no interest, nothing. That's $600 total. So $25 a month for 24 months.
That's literally gonna end up being the price of the PlayStation 5.
Yeah. So, and normally the console costs $299. 2 years of Game Pass is $360. So you end up saving yourself. It's actually $60 cheaper to do it that way. And then for the Series X, if it ends up being $499 plus the $360 for Game Pass Ultimate, that's $840, and you literally still save $20 just by paying it off in installments. And if you have an Xbox One X or a One S or a One S Digital right now, you can still upgrade as long as you've made, I think, 18 months worth of payments. You can go to the Best Buy that you bought it at and just go, I would like an Xbox One X, please. And they just fucking roll your shit over. It's just like the iPhone upgrade program and like so many other, like All Access is going to be such a game changer. And I might do it. Honestly, I might just do All Access because, I mean, granted, we both have big boy jobs. We can probably easily afford, buying a brand new console. But it's like, if I'm going to save money in the long run anyway, why wouldn't I just have it take $25 a month out of the thing that I'm never going to fucking notice? Yeah, so
it's I mean, there's a whole like you said, the Apple generational transfer from iPhone to iPhone. That system's been in place for what, fucking 6 years now at this point.
Yeah,
like it's about time that consoles have caught up to it.
Yeah, and so many people are financing gaming PCs too. Like that's how, I mean, Chris is financing his gaming PC. He like this, people get these like souped up rigs. They're not. I mean, a lot of the times they're probably not going to come up out of pocket for anywhere between $1,500 to $2,500 if they can help it. So why wouldn't consoles adopt this model? And this is going to be a huge. I think this is a hugely undersung benefit to going with an Xbox over a PS5 this year.
Well, I mean, it also gives the availability to people. Like, we're in the middle of a pandemic still. It gives the ability for people who, might not have a secure income right now to also be able to go into the next generation of gaming.
Yep.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, like, it's a great deal. I still don't get it because I still feel like it's taking too much away from last generation and the peak of what they could do for this generation. I think it's great. I think if they never announced the Xbox Series X and they only announced the Series S, and this was their next generation of consoles, but they made it a little bit more powerful. Sure. That's it. Sounds great. Makes a lot of sense. But because for so long that they've just been touting Series X is going to be the way to play video games. This is the console of the future. You're never going to play games like you play on this ever again. Like, I don't know. It's like they took 2 steps forward with their announcements. And now they're like, hey, guess what? Come back with us for 1 second.
Yeah, let's
get something else for you.
Yeah. Let's just walk this back just a little bit. I mean, even if Sony lowballs their PS5 price point, which they're not gonna,
no way.
Microsoft is almost guaranteeing their console, one of their next gen consoles at least, in a place in people's living rooms.
Yeah,
like I've seen a billion tweets already. People are going, "Great, I'm gonna get a PS5, whatever the fuck that costs, and then I'm gonna get a Series S."
Exactly.
Boom.
That makes so much more sense to me. Where it's maybe Microsoft is just like, look, we don't have the exclusive games to compete with PlayStation. Let's at least make sure people are still interested in us. Let's give them the most accessible way to play the most amount of video games with the biggest catalog outside of PC, of course. And let's make it, reasonably priced so that even if consumers do buy a PlayStation because they want those exclusives, they'll still buy our cheaper product and then still be a part of the quote unquote Microsoft family or Xbox family, whatever the fuck they call it. But I feel like this is one of the biggest comparisons that I need to make between the PlayStation 5 and the Series S, Series X coming out. So we saw at the PlayStation 5 reveal event, which you can watch at youtube.com/WickedGaming. Dom, you didn't see it. I just zoomed into my camera. But so we're going to also be getting a PlayStation 5 and then an all digital PlayStation 5 version. However, we don't know if they're down specking the all digital version. We know for a fact the Series X is going to be taking downgrades away from the Series X, but we don't, as of right now, with all the information that we know, the all digital version of the PlayStation 5 is going to be the exact same thing, just without a disc drive. So depending on the price point, like that could be, like you see on Twitter all the fucking time, just people talking shit about console wars left and right. I promise you somebody will bring that up like, oh yeah, I mean the PlayStation 5 all digital version, it's not $600 like the disc version, it's $450, and it's still 2.5 times as powerful as the Series S.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it's just worth noting, but we'll see what happens. It's all up to PlayStation now to see what the fuck.
Oh yeah, I'm a big all digital guy. Like I mean, I went this route with my Switch, and I'm so happy to just be able to just switch between games so fast and just like not have to. I'm a big fan of like not getting up pretty much just ever. So if I don't have to like get up and go put a new disc in my console, like that's immediately worth whatever other shit comes with it. So with it, whichever route people go, I mean, I think we're going to see a big push to all digital. And I do hope that continues being the case because it just makes so much sense.
All right. Well, what do we think? I mean, we might as well close it out with what we have for expectations going forward. Like, what do we think? When do we get the legitimate Xbox Series X announcements that they confirm, like the price point. It's still rumored to be released, both of these versions of the console, November 10th. When do we get the steadfast, legitimate, confirmed Series X is $500? This is everything coming with it. This is everything you can expect. When do you think we get that?
I'm going to say, so today's September 8th. I'm going to say before the end of September. That is my like least specific date that I could come up with. And, like, gun to my head, I think we like the fact that all of this shit is coming out today, and like you said at the top of the video, the fact that the Series S and Series X rumors all came out together, like one informs the other, so we can probably assume that all the Xbox Series X shit is true. Part of me thinks it's going to just drop tomorrow. They're just going to say, oh, by the way, oh, you didn't know? Your ass better call somebody, and they're going to just drop the Xbox Series X shit tomorrow. But I would say, if not tomorrow, before the end of the month.
I was thinking like next week. They would just like take a week to iron everything else out that they wanted to make a legitimate announcement before the rest of it gets fucking leaked. So I think at some point next week, or by
like
the end
next
of this
Tuesday,
week.
even like next Tuesday probably would be like 1 week out. Like give it exactly 1 week to breathe, and then bang. But the fact that all of this stuff is coming flooding out, like I wouldn't be shocked if I literally woke up tomorrow to like a tweet from the official Xbox account saying, "Oh, we're going to confirm all this other shit too." But it's way past due.
So when do you think we find out PlayStation 5 legitimate, steadfast announcements?
First week in October.
I think it's like within 24 hours after the Series X information gets dropped.
Ooh.
I think PlayStation is. I think Sony's legitimately just sitting on a finalized package right now, and they're just saying, "Look, man, we won last generation. We know people are going to buy our console because of our exclusives. Let's just the second that they do it, let's prep the package. We'll ship it off for delivery, and it'll land in 24 hours."
Yeah. Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, it's whatever it is, like if Xbox drops next week, it's like, Sony, you have 24 hours to respond. You know what I mean? Like the pressure's on now, especially that they've already announced one whole console. You know, so yeah, I would agree with that. That's definitely very, very likely, if not definite to happen. But yeah, I would say if Xbox waits until like the end of September, then we're going to get it like first week of October. First Tuesday in October, we'll get the Sony announcement, and they'll make some big blowout from it. Maybe we'll get like the announcement of like, at the very least this month, probably within a week, we will get an announcement for the Sony, like we'll get an announcement for the announcement. Yeah. Hey, stay tuned on October 6th. Which is the first Tuesday in October 6th, you know, we'll do an emergency state of play, and, you know, get all your questions will be answered about the PS5.
Yeah.
I think we get that this month.
Yeah, I think so too. All right. Well, I mean, we might as well just close it out there. Any final thoughts? I mean, like, I don't know. I like it's a good idea. I like the idea for consumers.
Yeah, I like the idea. Like we say, always options are always good. I think it's great. You know, it's not necessarily going to be an option for me because I want to get something that is really powerful, or maybe it will be. Maybe I'll end up going with a PS5 and just get an S and go there. But from the jump, I've been saying, like, I want to buy whatever I'm going to be able to experience Halo Infinite, like the most definitive experience of that game. Granted, who the fuck knows what's going on with that?
Well, it's going to be a PC.
Yeah, it's probably going to end up being a PC. So, but I think it's a good option, and we'll just have to see how it pays off for him.
All right. Well, you know, we'll just call it there. You know, call it there. Yeah. I mean, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with the Xbox Series X. We'll see what happens with the PlayStation 5 news, and stay tuned. And we'll keep you informed.
Absolutely.